Hi, yes, I'm Alison Arngrim, and most of you know me as the incredibly evil, nasty Nellie Oleson from Little House on the Prairie.
Yes. Go on.
It's not my fault. I auditioned, weirdly enough, for the part of Laura and for Mary.
Country girls.
I'm so glad that I did not get those. That did not work out. I am not a country girl. Thankfully, they saw the light and they invited me back to read for Nellie Oleson, at which point I was hired on the spot. I'm not sure what that says about me, but there you are.
What did I tell you? Country girls. Don't even know what a blackboard is. Nellie.
Well, now it's gotten better with the fans. It has gotten better. People did hate me just violently, and people did ask me, like, why? Why are you so horrible? Why are you so mean to Laura?
Uncle John!
They're nicer now. Now, 50 years later, even the most diehard fan has some concept of a separation of fantasy and realities. But they're now, at least they're saying, wow, you must have been really good at that because, God, I couldn't stand you. I mean, of all the things I could have gotten, I mean, people go to work. Everybody goes to work, and you have to be nice to people all day. And how hard is this sometimes, right? So the most amazing thing for me was I didn't have to do that. I got to go to work and yell and scream at people and throw things and break stuff. In the episode where I finished trashing the room at Bunny, and it was great when I trashed the room because the prop man said, okay, this is an antique, don't touch this. This one's a replica, you can break this, we have 3 more in the back. Break this, don't throw this, throw this. I'm like, okay, this is complicated. So I'm like wrecking the room. And then finally, the throwing course of this is, I'll get you, Laura Ingalls, I'll get you. And when I went to throw it, we stopped, and then Michael Landon actually physically threw that horse at the Lopin because he wanted it to be a perfect hit, on like one take and smash it. When I'm smashing the dollhouse and going, I'll get you, I'll fix you, Laura. Well, I'm smashing the dollhouse as I fix you. Do you know when they dub it in French? It's Toure, it's I'll kill you, Laura Ingalls, I'll kill you. And I'm like, well, no wonder they're scared of me in France. Gee,
You're joking.
So the episode Back to School, known as often the cinnamon chicken episode, but that I, of course, like to call the mud fight episode. The mud fight is incredible. This is at the point where Melissa Gilbert and I are doing our own stunts. They're not even bothering to bring anyone in to make. Well, we're choreographing our own fights. They're just, we give up. We know these two are going to do it. And we know they're not going to kill each other either. It's just, there was a level of trust that they could just say go. And we'd be wailing on each other and look like we were going to murder each other. And no one was going to get hurt. We knew exactly what we're doing. It's like, okay, I'm going to go this now. And so we hit the mud and roll, and you can see her get me in a headlock. She gets me in this headlock, and I'm screaming, and you can see her hand come around, filled with a big ball of mud right in my mouth. It's terrible. And you know it was a duck pond in the winter and a cow pasture in the summer. So
I hope you're not angry.
they were very clever on Little House. We didn't have CGI. So we had to come up with really amazing things. So incredible team of stunt people, of these stunt women. The woman who does that somersault out of the wheelchair. I mean, and these real people knew what they were doing, would ride these horses, because I couldn't ride a horse to save my life. Now, Melissa could ride, but they were like, no, you're the star of the show. We're not having you tearing off at 50 miles an hour across a field. You fall off and production stops for a month, whereas stunt woman, we get somebody else. We actually were on this sort of like fake horse thing. It's a big metal thing, gotta like giddy up. And with the wind machine, you've gotta have the wind machine going. And we're going, yeah, yeah, go, go, and just screaming all sorts of nonsense. And then when I was doing it, I thought, this has gotta look really fake. And it didn't. Somehow it looked amazing. Well, okay, most amazing one. When I, in Bunny, ride the horse straight into a tree branch. Tree branch in the face, and then I'm out. How the heck did I do that? I'm sitting on a box, and there are two crew members are holding a beautifully Windex piece of plexiglass in front of my face. Like, check for spots, don't. And the third guy's got a tree branch. And they set up the show, and the tree gets whacked into the thing, and I go, ugh, and fall over backwards. And they edit that in, and it looks like I took a full tree branch to the face, is what it looks like.
Why your mother ever built this place for you, I'll never know. You certainly can't cook, and you certainly have no right to be dealing with the public. And as pretty as you are, you don't need a restaurant to catch a husband in the first place.
And he's really smart, and he's a good businessman. He's from New York, and he's got all the qualities she's like looking for in a guy. It was brilliant. And yeah, that was something about Little House on the Prairie that's not on other shows. Characters were allowed to change.
Nellie, what on earth happened? Something wonderful. He said I was pretty.
Of course, obviously in the 1870s, for a woman to run out into the street and tell a man she's only known for a few days or weeks that she's madly in love with him would be shocking.
I love you.
But then Nellie didn't really follow the rules. They weren't for her anyway. And she does this, and then he loves her too. And so then he's like, well, what do? You get married, don't you?
Will you marry me?
Yes. Oh, yes.
I used to joke about, well, nights were lonely on the prairie, and clearly Nellie needed a man. So there was that aspect too. She was bored. But there's a thing in the wedding where we get married and we get wagon. And they're throwing rice and all. And Percival says, to the honeymoon. And I kind of do a double take. Oh, wait.
To the honeymoon!
She's like, wow, whoa, wait, I'm married. This is serious now. And it's a throwaway, cute little gag. And I don't know that anyone noticed it in the 1980s. I think it's only in the last 10 years that someone said, oh my God, I saw that look you gave him. It's hysterical. What was that all about? And I'm like, finally. It's like Easter eggs. Like we hit Easter eggs in the show. And they're noticing all these little things that Dean Butler did, that Melissa did, that I did. It's like a riot.
Hello, Percival.
Shall we talk about pickles? Let's talk about pickles. So Nellie's pregnant and has cravings, as women often do, and she decides to eat pickles and ice cream. So we go to shoot this, and it was lovely. It was a really nice dill pickle, like maybe from Cantor. It's a really good kosher dill. I love pickles. And a lovely ice cream cone of really good vanilla ice cream. Okay. Yes, for the trivia buffs. No, ice cream cones were not popular in the early 1880s. So we shoot this, and Michael says quite rightly, now look, we have a bucket, so we have to do multiple takes. We don't expect you to actually eat this entire pickle and ice cream and how long this goes on. You can spit it out. I said, why would I do that? He said, well, you're not really good. I said, I love pickles and I love ice cream. He says, oh, come on. I mean, what if we have to do 6, 7 takes? And I said, well, first of all, when have you ever seen me do 6 or 7 takes? Secondly, you've seen me eat lunch. I love pickles and ice cream. I said, I totally am going to eat this. Yeah, I'm going to eat this, and it's not going to take that long. And it's like, fine, sit yourself. So, of course, we shoot the thing, and the scene, it's like one angle, like 1 take each. Boom, we're done. I have a piece of pickle and ice cream. I have leftovers, and I'm like, ha-ha, triumphant. Now that's the $64 million question. Why are we all still watching the show 50 years later? What is going on? And not just watching it, people love it. People are obsessed with Little House on the Prairie, and I'm like, eh. And so I've asked people, why, what's the attraction? Like from other countries, from all over the world, people in Borneo, France, Sri Lanka, why? And I get similar answers. Very emotional show. That the emotions cross cultural lines and age lines and everything. People go, no, it was just the emotions. And the big one I get, especially people in other countries, I said, well, people don't live like the Real Housewives or Dallas or Dynasty or these other shows. People don't have fabulous New York apartments like the people on Friends. Normal people don't live like that. People around the world tend to not have that much money. In fact, the majority of humans are living like the Ingalls, in a little tiny house with a lot of children and wondering how they're going to make it through the week. And there is always someone, a Mrs. Oleson in the town or runs the store, who makes their lives difficult. And everybody at school has a Nellie. Everyone everywhere who's ever lived and attended any school with more than 2 people in it had a Nellie Oleson that created trouble, was the bully. And Mrs. Oleson was like, I guess, the first person in the 1800s to ask to see the manager. It's everybody knows this person. I just really, if you told me that 50 years later, I'd be 60, we'd all be having these conversations. It's mind-blowing. It's crazy